Egyptians, they gained, their place in history, by building pyramids. But I'm not against pyramids. But one can ask the question: okay, what's the point? Professor Johnson, the archaeologist we talked about, he found out that that Moenjo-daro has been built on platforms, and these platforms themselves have been built at first by these people. Okay, so he said, well, the amount of brick stones they needed for the two platforms has been something like over 6.4 million cubic meters. Okay, he said, this is more or less the same investment that it needed to build a pyramid. You see what I mean?
The first and earliest city which is completely planned, and the drainage, the sewerage, absolutely unmatched. Completely covered drainage system you have found. 4,500 years back, people produced completely covered sewerage system, and the entire city was provided with the slope, north-south slope, to ensure the flow of water.
For that time, this is revolutionary. Their world record actually was that never before, certainly, people have lived, materially speaking, on such at such a high level. You see, those who built the pyramids, they were either slaves or, I mean, everybody outside the palace lived like a, but here, these people, you see, and this demands, a certain degree of, I don't know, philosophy. You see what I mean?
Let me take you to the site, a wonderful archaeological site. I hope you will enjoy it. As you know that before any scientific excavations started here, the entire area looked like these mounds of brick and mud. And this is how this discovery of Moenjo-daro was made.
Well, how is it possible that such an advanced civilization, I don't know, has come to life here and not, let's say, in the place where I come from, for example, I mean, in Europe, those times, there was, the Dark Ages, there was people living in caves. Then you have the other question, saying, okay, but how come this civilization passed away and it disappeared? Why is that? And I don't have the answer. Nobody does.
The stupa and the famous monastery around that place. This belongs to 2nd century AD. It means this has nothing to do with old Moenjo-daro civilization. This way, you are going to see two different cultures, one on the top of other. In 2nd century AD, when Buddhists were crossing this area on Indus, which is not too far from here, they saw many bricks lying here and there of no use. They came here, picked the bricks and built the stupa on the top of the remains, which has no relation whatsoever, without knowing what was underneath. This residential area decay, that is meant for the influential people, for the rich class, whereas that HR area represent the common man. You can see even the commonest person has his own dwelling to live in. We are leaving behind the 2nd century AD structure and coming to the old city that you are here for. The dustbins. People are not throwing garbage into the streets like we do in small towns around here. Dustbins were provided for that purpose in the corner of the street. Not only these simple bins, but if you go to the residential area, in the main decay area, you will see the dustbins with chutes. People did not even bother to come out of a house and throw the garbage into it, but just to push it from your house. Sir John Marshall says that he found most of the streets paved in herringbone style. So this pavement is real. In 1951, Sir Mortimer Wheeler, a British archaeologist, discovered this area. A lot of wheat grain scattered around here. So he thought it was the granary. The air ducts and passages to keep the stock dry and ventilated. Wooden beams were possibly fixed in the columns to support wooden shade to save the stock from rain, which was more frequent at that time than today. Considering the size of the granary, they understand that this might well have served the purpose of public treasury. Now this should be the drain of the Great Bath. Looking at the size of the drain, it appears that it was not just the drain, but since one person can go easily through the drain, therefore one has the impression that this might well have served the purpose of escape route. In the time of any problem, the royal family could escape through this. Now here you are. This is one of the wonders and nice structure that we know as Great Bath. This is 23 by 39 feet and 8 feet deep. Presumably open to the sky, no shade. But with the help of the pillars, one on every corner, and pillars behind them here, there were cell type of rooms built around, perhaps to change and to take rest while taking bath. One can see quite clearly that there is a slope towards this corner. If they wanted to change the water, they would open the cock and the used water goes through that hole into the outlet that we have just witnessed. Amazing to know that to avoid the seepage into the foundations, they have used the bitumen, the black tar coal substance which has been used. Not only the foundations, to save the foundations from seepage, but the bitumen has also been used all four sides of the bath to avoid the seepage from either side of the bath. So this place, this bath appears to have been not a common one, but the ceremonial and ritual purposes. You have this oval-shaped well, which is quite unique, because all other wells are round, as I say, occupy less space and more benefit out of it.
If I were a teacher here in Pakistan, Pakistani teacher with Pakistani students, I think I would make it an obligation, to visit this place. First, let's say, when my students are still very young, when they're still pupils, just maybe to give them a good reason to be proud of the place they live in, the country they live in. Because when you have that kind of treasure inside your boundaries, that's a good thing.
I just want to add here in the end that please come to Moenjo-daro to see your identity.
Come to Moenjo-daro because it's one of the most exceptional places in the world.